All of us we try. Who has not tried to change? We want to change some habits. We want to change some thought patterns. We want to change emotional aspects of ours. I am very angry. I want to calm, but it doesn't happen. Why? Because there are some flaws in our approach. I'm Sandip Dash, been working with people for making them happy in life. In this very session, what we are going to look at is change something in ourselves so that we can transform our life, change our mind, change our life. We want to change some habits. We want to change some thought patterns. We want to change emotional aspects of ours. I am very angry. I want to calm, but it doesn't happen. Why? Because there are some flaws in our approach. We need to understand those flaws before we proceed further. Yeah. What are those flaws? One is most therapies, most approaches, I would rather put it, is just to look at the symptom. I'm angry, so do something, anger subsides. I'm not getting sleep, do something, take a tablet. I'm feeling irritation, anxiety, just suppress that. That's what is happening in most of the therapies. Unfortunately, we are not getting deeper. And to get deeper, I need to understand, not the doctor, not the therapist. That is where the flaw is. Many of us, we are not understanding. Not understanding that is the first problem. We need to work on that. And the second aspect is they are not holistic. We are just, as I said, I have anger. Anger is because of some other reason. I'm just focusing on the anger, not on the reason. So it's not holistic. Anger is also happening when I'm having some, let's say somebody is having high blood sugar and because of that he's angry. Somebody is having high blood pressure. We have to handle it holistically. There is a combination. My breath is also holistically integrated to my life. Just suppressing anger and breath is not going to work. I have to work it in a holistic manner. Next, don't have any systematic implementation plan. As I get something, I just want to approach it because that's not in my priority. Managing the mind is not in my priority. That priority is so important. So we are looking at the priority now. Yeah, that systematic plan will only come when we have the priority of implementation. Next one, many times we go to somebody for the help and we are dependent on him or her. We go to a doctor, dependent on medicine. We go to a therapist or counselor, dependent on him or her. Now, yes, sometimes we need that, but dependence for the entire life, my mind is mine. Let me take charge of it. I cannot delegate the most important thing in my life to somebody else. I delegate it to a therapist, delegate it to a doctor, take charge of my mind, and you are not taking charge of yourself. Who take charge? What need to be done? I said 3-step process. Let's understand this one by one. The phase one, we'll see what exactly we are doing here, how we introspect and find out what is there inside, and then we will isolate it. Let's take an example. There is a seepage on the wall. Now you want to fix it. Every time you put the paint on, next day again you find there is further seepage. Why? The reason being, inside the wall there is a pipe. Inside the pipe or in that pipe there is a leakage. Water is going out through that small leakage. And every time you are fixing, again water comes and it is spoiling it. We first need to find out that one. This is what we say, understanding and also isolating it, knowing it. Unless we identify that leakage, can we fix it? No, we cannot. So we have to find out that root cause of the problem of the mind when we are trying to fix the mind. For the wall, we need to find out the leakage. Where is the leakage? Find out, then we can plug it so that it can be fixed. Root cause is to be found out. That root, if we find out what is the problem, then we can fix it. For permanent healing, this is so important. Understand the situation which is triggering that response in your mind, in the subconscious, triggering that program in your subconscious. Just by observing that, you'll see 50% will go. Let me give you this as a hack. From today, just look at, sometimes you are angry for certain reasons. Just look at what is it that is creating that anger. Just observe that. The moment the trigger comes, observe. Or you recall that event. Why at that point in time I was so angry or I was so fearful? What is it? You'll find there is a root to it. You can discover that root yourself by putting your mind into it. Mind becomes the observer of that problem. Introspection, right? So once we know that, we'll find our actions, behaviors, mindset, or energy itself can change. We need to find out at that trigger what is happening, what is my action, How am I behaving? What's my emotion? What is my energy? Am I feeling drained? I'm feeling fatigued because of certain event. Find out that. First, identify and isolate. Second one is healing. Now here, when we go for healing process, this isolation is so very important. Need to understand this, why we need to do the isolation. Let's take an example of a computer. I remember in the early days when I was in my corporate job long time before, when a virus is inside the computer and everything I do, it's up. Now first thing I need to do is to isolate the virus, quarantine the virus. The virus has to be checked first, removed first. Unless I do that, any new thing I do, the virus will spoil it, corrupt it. The first thing that I need to do is to check the virus before I upload new programs. Isolation is that. So after either I uninstall useless programs, the viruses, I lock them or quarantine them, I cannot upload new useful softwares. Similarly, I need to first quarantine the viruses, which is we call the isolation, and we need to heal after that. Healing means, what is the healing? The healing should be some techniques. We will talk about many such techniques: how to heal stress, how to heal anxiety, how to heal sleeplessness, how to heal pain, how to heal anger, fear, how we can go for that. As in the subsequent sessions, we'll be discussing about those as well. Now, phase 3 is integration. This is the last part, so maybe we need to understand this, what this integration means. It is about implementation and sustainability of the change. If we are not sustaining it, that program will again go back. Change our internal qualities. By default, am I calm? By default, am I focused? By default, am I confident? By default, am I resilient and composed? By default, am I harmonized, organized, and balanced? I have changed my habits for 5 days, then I again fall back. People quit smoking for 10 days, again go back. How to completely integrate that? People become very calm, composed for a week, and again again something irritates, they go back to the normal thing. Integration is what is important. So it is, I'll give you, it's rewiring the brain, permanently changing. A term called neuroplasticity. Permanent change in the neural pathways in the brain can happen through repetition, through certain approach. There is a powerful verse in the Bhagavad Gita which says, where Arjuna says, so difficult is it to check the mind, to manage the mind. How can I do it? I can do so many other things, powerful fighting, shooting the arrow and bow and hitting the targets is possible. But how can I check this mind? It is so hard, it seems. Then Sri Krishna comes up with a powerful technique. He says, yes, asansayam mahabahe mano durni graham chalam. It's literally very, very tough, difficult to handle, manage this mind. But there is a two-step process. There is a two-step process, which is abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate. That means you have to practice. Abhyasa literally would means repetition. By focused repetition, Vairagya is not getting distracted. Don't think Vairagya is going to the Himalayas and then practice. Not that. It is about not getting distracted by the unnecessary aspects of life. Now, having that shield is important. We'll learn how to keep this repetition, how to bring this abhyasa as a regularity in our life for changing habits, and how to shield. Vairagya is not getting distracted by the flickers and the glitters of the world, focused on the changes of taking charge of the mind. Yeah, we'll follow that in the subsequent sessions. Just quickly giving this example of driving the car that we learned. Initially, hard to do. So difficult, I cannot learn. So many people say, oh, it's so hard, very difficult, I cannot learn. First day, not possible by me. Second day, not possible. Third day, oh, little control. Slowly, as we gradually do it, go on doing it. Slowly, what happens? We take charge. How to do that practice systematically? This is the system. This is where the system lies. That's what, once we master it, leave you on the most difficult traffic conditions, you can still drive it. not thinking, just navigating the car. That's what is important. How to take charge of this mind, how to take responsibility of the mind, so that even in the most difficult conditions, we navigate through life with ease, with joy, with bliss, with a lot of internal acceptance and joyful progress. And this can be done by having a roadmap, milestones, clear goal, simple steps, simple metrics, measurement, how I am progressing, and that will lead us to a change permanently. We will see that in the follow through classes, follow through sessions. If you have not so far subscribed, do subscribe to the channel, do share it with others. Look forward with the next part of this journey. Have a great time. God bless. Take care.